I'm going to start off by welcoming you to what is the 50th episode of Social Chatter. My name is Christian Karasevich. I'm the CEO and founder of Social Chefs. Basically, we want to make social media easy to follow, as simple as following a recipe. You know all the ingredients. Like, okay, do I want to do Facebook? Do I want to do Twitter, Instagram? Basically, we want you to take the social media channel, and then we want to give you a recipe that you can follow to see success in your industry. And so if you have any questions during the show, you can put them in the chat window. In addition, there's also, if you're watching the replay, we'll have this on YouTube. Leave a comment below the video and I will work to answer it or to help give you some clarification, if you have a specific thing that you want some help with. So in addition to all that, if you have any questions on anything, you can always send us a tweet at Social Chefs, my personal Twitter handle at CKROKS. And we also have Nick as well. We're trying to get here on board. Nick is from experts.com. I just have to get his Twitter handle here in a second, if he can join. So Nick's Twitter handle is experts.com VP. And we're running into a few issues getting Nick on to join the show. I'm not sure what's going on with the service, it's just too slow or what, but I'm going to keep going and we'll keep trying to get Nick here on board, and I'm sure Nick will join in the chat as well. So I want to start off with this week's social media news and also a couple of tools. So let's just talk about topic number one. I'm going to start with some of the smaller ones because I think that they're important, but I also think that we want to get Nick on because we got some really good topics. So topic number one for today, and this is not the main topic, is that Facebook is testing a new feature, basically testing a new way for you to watch videos. So now when you watch videos on Facebook right now, you go there and you go to watch something and the video will auto play, but there's no sound. So what people were doing was they were creating subtitles and adding them to their videos. Well, Facebook wants to stay ahead of the curve, ahead of your Periscopes and your LinkedIns, who are also jumping into video. And they're testing video with autoplay sound. And this is kind of fascinating because when I say video, typically I'm not going to want to, I don't really want to like have it automatically play because, granted, it could be like something inappropriate. It could be a video that I've never watched. Like, I'm not really sure why I would want autoplay sound on a video. The only way that I could see that being very useful is if I had a video that if I had a video, for instance, hold on one second, let's see if we can get Nick in here. They're already a guest, okay. So, I wouldn't want autoplay sound on a video unless, for instance, it was, hey, I have to actually click the play button or I have to do some other function to make the sound kick in. So I'm not really sure why they would do that, but, seems kind of useful, I guess, if they want people to, watch more video. So that's topic number one for today. For you as a business owner, I would just say this. I mean, if you're using video, the first thing is you want to have really good sound. Two, if you're doing video and you really want people to watch it, like you want to have, for instance, subtitles on your videos, subtitles so that people don't have to actually watch, click on the video and turn up the sound, all that sort of stuff. So if you've not yet experimented with video, this is a good time for you to get into doing it. And then this way, when Facebook, if they decide to roll this out, you'll be ready to go. Okay, so we're still waiting for Nick to join. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's trying some other stuff. Okay, so that's topic one for today. Topic number two, this one also is playing off of Facebook. They've got some new features for Facebook slideshow ads. For anybody who is a Facebook user who's using Facebook ads, they launched this slideshow feature back in October. Basically, let you build like lightweight videos from photos or existing videos. And with slideshow ads, they're basically being used a fair amount over 200 countries. But now what you can do with slideshow ads is you can let advertisers can use video-like ads in areas with like a slow connection. So some of the new features they're doing with this, they're basically giving you ways to like features that are related to like the audio of the slideshow and also some text functionality and mobile creation, as well as closer integration with Facebook's stock photo and pages image libraries. So this is super handy. So for example, with these new slideshow ads, you can add text and music. You'll be able to create slideshows on the go with mobile, so you can now create your ads pretty much from anywhere. In this case, you have to have an Android mobile device, it says. You can also use the assets from Facebook's stock image library. So if you're a business, you don't have a lot of money for ads, chances are you don't also have a lot of money for photos. So what you can do now with this is you'll be able to build a slideshow video ad with this functionality. In addition, Facebook's also like, here's the biggest thing, like we're rolling out all this technology, which is fantastic, except for the fact that technology doesn't always play very well. And so what they're doing with the Facebook slideshow ads is they're trying to make them very lightweight so that people in other countries won't have any issues being able to, for example, being able to run them in their country. So you'll be able to target more people in different countries. So that's topic 2 for today. So let's see, I've got 5 topics. So third topic for today, and this is, I'm going to jump around briefly here. So topic number 3 is that Pinterest has acquired a company called, and by the way, hold on one second. Let me see if we can get Nick on here. Let's see. So Nick, do you want me to try to invite you as a guest again, or what? Or do you want to try to?
All right.
What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Sorry about the delay there. I guess I had to restart the computer, and that solved all the problems.
So no worries, man. No worries at all. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, good. Good. So where are we?
Okay, so I decided to skip the number 1 topic we were going to talk about because I wanted to have you on board. So we've talked so far about Facebook is testing their autoplay sound with video, which I said, that's kind of a weird topic. The only way I could see that being functional is if, somebody, I said earlier, like if somebody actually maybe had to do some sort of action to trigger the autoplay sound, like maybe I had to like, click on a certain link or something in the video to get it to kind of trigger. Otherwise, I don't really want the sound coming on automatically. Yeah. I don't know what's in the video, chances are. I don't know, like if I don't have a headset on. And I also don't know how high my volume is, because a lot of times people, they turn their volume up way too loud.
Right, especially if you're at work.
Exactly.
And what I've seen so far is in autoplay videos, I want to watch a video I want to watch, and then I want to get out of there and get back to something else. So, I'm so far not a huge fan of the autoplay video. And then having the audio on, I think could pose some problems.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're looking at, because you could watch a semi-funny, safe for work video or safe for children video, and then the next one that comes on may not be the exact same. It may be a little bit more risque or not safe for work or children, and then the volume's on.
Yeah, so I'm not so sure what they're doing. I mean, I get the need to test, but I think that this might not. I don't think this one's going to stick around.
Yeah, I think this is autoplay for commercials in between videos is probably what they're testing.
that might actually be it. Topic 2 we talked about, which was basically Facebook's new slideshow ad features. They give you the ability now to add text, They're basically making the videos more lightweight, or the ads more lightweight, so you can run them in developing countries that have, like 2G service and so forth. So, and they also give you access to some of Facebook's stock libraries, which is handy.
I think this is cool. I'm going to try playing with this just for the company. The slideshow, nice, quick little commercial without actually having to put my face on the video or somebody else in the office face on the video.
I didn't hear any of that.
You didn't hear any of that?
No, because everything is for some reason everything is really choppy.
Can you hear me now? Hear me at all? Nothing.
Not sure. It could be my connection. I'm not sure.
Cliff can hear me. Yeah. I get Cliff. Can you still hear me? He thinks it's your connection.
Okay. Okay.
Refresh.
Yeah, sure. Let me refresh.
Oh, thanks, Cliff. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. So
is that better, by the way? It seems like it's better.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I can hear you better now too. That's weird. Okay. So I would say this. I just dropped it. I didn't hear what you said, so if you can just repeat that real quick, that'd be great.
I just said I was going to be playing with this for the company with doing a short slide share video, just because I think this is a better way for a company, or it might be a more efficient way for a company to put out kind of a quick commercial clip without having to do, put somebody actually their face on screen and do something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a great suggestion. I really do. I think that's a good thing also to do, to be testing that, because a lot of times your business might not be like totally sure about what they want to do. And then, in this case, like by at least testing it, when you're ready to go, you kind of have some examples you can work with.
That's right.
So very cool. Topic 3, by the way, that I was going to drop in was that, really simple thing. Pinterest acquired Instapaper. And I think that's a pretty good acquisition for Pinterest, because it's going to help, for those of you who haven't used Instapaper, it's basically a tool for saving web pages to read later on your phone, your iPad, your Android device, your Kindle, and so forth. And personally, I think by Pinterest acquiring this, I think it's going to, help improve the recommendations engine, the discovery engine, the recommendation side. But I think at the same time, it's going to keep users on Pinterest more, I think. Personally, the way I use Pinterest right now is I go to Pinterest, I may pin something from a website, but then I'll go to Pinterest, every so often and check it out. But it's not like high on my priority list.
Never been high on mine. No, I've gotten some recipes off of there, but it's never been one of the staples of my social diet since we are on Social Chefs here.
Yes, by the way, I like that. That was good. And I know we've talked before, like Pinterest really isn't high on your list from your line of work. But I think overall this is a good play, because Pinterest, it also tries to make them a little more relevant now and get them, as a place that people are going to go on a frequent basis, as opposed to now, like a lot of people, if you're watching, do you use Pinterest? I'd love to hear that feedback. I mean, like I said, I sparingly use it. Nick doesn't really use it at all. So something to kind of keep in mind there.
Yeah. And I don't, so like I said, the only way I use it personally has been to get some recipes or do some research that way. And so I've not used it for the company at all, and only personally sparingly. So,
and it's sort of one of those things where I want to save my information over to Pinterest versus using it as a discovery tool,
Interesting.
At least that's my take on it. I mean, like, oh great, I saved something to a pinboard, but if I'm gonna go over there and look for stuff, I mean, a lot of times, this is probably the biggest thing I have more of the issue with Pinterest, is that I don't really know if that is relevant content that somebody's sharing. Right. For instance, it could be content from 2014 or 2012, but you don't know that unless you see their article, and then if you follow the brand that they're sharing, and then you click into it, it doesn't tell me if that's relevant content either. Okay. I have to do at least 2 clicks. I have to find the thing. I have to then click it, click it once, click it again to actually go to the site, and then see if the article is relevant. So,
Interesting.
So yeah, you have something.
Anything that they've got 100 million users. So just because I don't use it and because you use it sparingly doesn't mean that a listener here shouldn't, if it's appropriate for their business. They've got 100 million active users. You may not want to ignore it if you're in a business that you can somehow benefit from it with articles. I don't see the value for the business that we do promoting professionals.
And here's the other thing about Pinterest, I guess, also is that it's a great way for you to pin your own stuff there. To pin, when you publish a new piece of content, if you have a certain board set up, it's a great place for you to, to pin that stuff. And so if I'm a consumer of that content, it's a great place for me to go. And, if I'm following certain brand channels there, to know that they've actually got some I can find out when they've got recent content versus going and having to try to find some of that stuff. So it's a great way for you to really get the word out and get some traffic back to your site.
Yeah.
Topic number 4, and I don't know if this was actually on your list.
Let me see.
Topic 4, I'm going to switch. We're skipping the first one so far because that's going to be the biggest one we're going to talk about here. But topic 4, actually, Apple is working on Snapchat style video sharing.
Interesting.
This caught my eye early this morning. What do you think?
Well, now in the pre-game information you sent to me, there wasn't a link, so let me pull it up right now. Do you think this is in iMessage or FaceTime? How do you think they're planning to roll something like this out?
So they used to have an app called Photo Booth on the Mac.
Okay.
And it may still be there. I just don't use it. I've never really used it very much. They're talking about making this possibly a standalone app, or making it tying it into another service. For instance, the Photos feature or the video app, for instance, basically the Photos app, because everything is kind of tied to the same thing.
Okay.
I think it could be a very interesting play if they did this, because they're recognizing that more of their users are using their mobile device for social media channel accounts.
Yes.
Sorry, for social media apps. And so that means, for instance, people are installing calculators, they're installing Netflix, they're doing all these little standard apps. But the main thing is they're using it as a connection device.
That's right.
They're using it to, to go on your Facebooks and your Snapchats and your Instagrams. They're using it to access that content. And Apple's not ever really been a big social player. They've kind of been very good at behind the scenes, being on a few social channels.
Right. And so it's Google and Apple, the two major players in tech, and they've both, and I guess Microsoft as well, although there's been some recent changes between, Google and Microsoft as far as trying to get into the social channels.
Right.
And Google does have YouTube, but they've never really been on top of the social platforms.
Right.
And they've never really rolled anything out effectively. But Google bought YouTube, Microsoft bought LinkedIn. So, Apple, they may be trying to make their play as well.
This could be a very interesting play, because I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know why they would do this, because I guess they want to make it easier. That means that's one less thing somebody has to do, one less app they have to download.
Yes, and I was just going to say, what would be easiest for me? What is the number one app that you use daily? Pre-installed or ones that you installed?
Most of them are ones that I install myself.
Okay, so you don't use. To me, I still use the text feature or the iMessage feature more than anything.
Yeah.
So if they were to work it into iMessage, where I can then say, because I'm sending audios through iMessage already, and that's easier than sending a text.
Right.
So if they worked it right in there, I could see this being of great value.
And I actually think that makes a lot of sense to put it in the messaging app, because everything has been moving towards messaging. They've been moving, and I say messaging meaning everybody's been talking about Facebook Messenger, bots. They've been talking about WhatsApp. You know,
WeChat is the
Mhm.
Chinese version. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all messaging, and all the big players are positioning themselves to get a bigger chunk of that market share.
And and if you made a really great point here. I mean, if you look at iOS 10, the direction that is going, they're adding a lot of functionality to the messaging app. So this would actually be almost like a natural progression to say, hey, let's like they're adding different ways to add emoji. They're adding different ways to like I forgot some of the features to quickly be able to like get the messages. They added peek and pop, for instance, to be able to preview messages quickly. Like imagine being able to like push down on like a have, for instance, like a Snapchat style like setting for messages. I push down on messages and I'm like, hey, I want to compose like a Snapchat style thing. I push that feature, up pops the thing. It's already selected everything. I don't have to learn anything else. I don't have to go use another app. I use it within my tool to be able to communicate. Granted, it's more private conversations,
Right.
but but I like your thought here, like as far as tying it into messages, because I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's the at least the thought I had. Maybe I'm not gonna pose any predictions here because the space is changing so rapidly.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's an interesting move.
Yeah.
If I'm Apple, I think it's it's one that I sort of would somewhat question, just because I don't know how much it fits within the business model. But if it is done properly, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to detract them from building a better phone or a better laptop or a better tablet. I think it's going to be, yeah.
I think anything that they do now with the decrease in purchases of the iPhone, they need to find reasons. What other updates can they really do? The iPhone makes up something like 60% of their revenue or profits, or some ridiculous number.
Like 70%, yeah.
Yeah, and so what are they going to do? Because I'm not planning to update to the next iPhone update right away. Didn't do it with the last one. I had the iPhone 4S before I went to the 6 Plus. So they really a big. I held on to it for a long time because the advances weren't all that necessary. I finally needed the memory. So anything they can do to encourage people to upgrade faster is what they need to do at this point.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to get the last one. Do you have any problems like pasting anything in the chat window?
No. What do you need me to?
I was trying to get the first topic pasted in there, actually.
Let me.
The one about Facebook. I'll tell everybody what it is. Basically, Facebook is now rolling out 2-person broadcasts, which is really awesome.
Maybe I am having trouble. Let me just. Oh no! Wait. 2-person broadcasts.
So
go for it.
Yeah, it's like the top one.
Facebook 2-person broadcast. Get the TechCrunch article here.
And, as Nick's getting this together, tell everybody that's watching what this is about. Basically, earlier this summer, Facebook rolled out Facebook Live. A few months ago, actually, before that, they rolled out Facebook Live. This summer, they announced they will have 2-person broadcasts coming to Facebook Live. They rolled that out on Monday. You're able to, if you're in different locations, you're able to do Facebook Live broadcast with 2 people. So, for example, we could almost be doing our episode of Social Chatter on Facebook Live, which, at some point, Nick, eventually, I think we will get to that. We both have to obviously get access to it.
Right. I think that's the key. But if it looks like this, and you have the opportunity to bring in a third or a fourth, then I think that will be a major change.
Absolutely. I think even just getting started with 2 people is perfect.
I agree. But right now, what I saw yesterday or the day before is that it is really kind of picture in picture right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, overall, and granted, I guess, the other thing we should probably tell people is, the way that this feature works is you have to have you have to be like a personality. You have to basically be essentially a
influencer.
Yeah. An influencer with Facebook. And so, so they're not going to roll it out with everyone, which is unfortunate. But we also know why they're doing that. They're doing that because they don't want to they don't want to come out with a bad product that people are going to necessarily, that people are necessarily going to be, negative towards. Right. They want to have something that actually works because, when everybody's jumping into the whole live video game, you have to have your act together.
Yeah, so, you do because everybody's doing it. If you're in the live video group on Facebook that Joel Com started, we see it seems like there's a new app or a new website for live video that pops up.
Yeah, and speaking of apps, I'm always every week I'm looking for new apps and new tools that I find, and I come across, seriously, there's either, we talked about it last week, there's one for animated GIFs, and then there's another one for we're creating a live video app for this specific thing, or we have another one for this one, and none of them are major players, and they all want a little tiny little sliver of this pie. That's so right. It's so it's very fascinating. So they're coming out with that feature. So that rolled out Monday. They also have, introducing to this, they also have waiting rooms. So basically people can hang out and wait for the broadcast to start, which actually is kind of cool because you and I kind of ran into this as well.
Right.
When we started this broadcast, we didn't, it's different than other services we've used. It did not give me a way to do to join to set everything up basically ahead of time.
Right.
It had to wait until the show was ready, and then all of a sudden things got started.
Yeah, and there's no pre-broadcast communication between the host and guest, and the big one that I think Facebook, if they can finally get to this point that we're experiencing here right now, plus the scheduling, which was also part of that TechCrunch article, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And and as you mentioned, the scheduling, and then also they've got I think they've got masquerade video filters as well.
Yeah. I think that'll add to creativity. Don't know that it would do much for the broadcast type of shows that I've done in the past or that I plan to do in the future. But for some folks who want to have goofier, more fun shows, they're going to do it a little differently.
Yeah, basically, Facebook's adding the ability for users who are using Masquerade to go live on Facebook directly from the app. So,
right.
So that's going to be super handy as well. I do like the direction that's going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a panda face paint, and have a social chatter show.
Right.
I think this is kind of cool. So that's all the social media news I have for the week. Do you have anything you want to share?
No, I think that was the big one that everybody was waiting for, and then they were a little depressed that it was picture in picture. But you know what? It's only sent out to some, a small group of people right now out of 1.7 billion users. So
absolutely,
we have to wait to play with it.
And if you're a business, here's the thing. Bottom line, if you're a business and you want to get verified and get some of these features, it's not going to happen overnight usually. But you want to work at what you're doing to where people want to copy your accounts, that sort of stuff. Get to a size where Facebook's like, hey, you know what? This is an important account. We should probably make them verified. So,
right.
3 quick tools for everybody this week. I've got tool number 1, which is a tool called Spark Pro. And this is an iOS app, and basically what Spark Pro is it's a video app. I know you're probably thinking, hey, we don't need another video app, right, Nick?
Right. We get a lot of these.
This is actually a pretty good little app. They made Spark Video as well, but Spark Pro basically is a really powerful video app. You can apply a lot of filters. You can what else can you do? It's let's see. They made Spark Camera, not Spark Video. But this one has very simple stuff like pressing and holding to capture moments in 1080p HD. They got lots of filters you can apply. You can do you can apply your music from your iTunes library, trimming and reordering, all that kind of stuff. And obviously your social sharing, you can actually, and this is kind of fascinating. So you can share not just with Instagram or with Snapchat memories, but also iMessage and pretty much any other place. So it's nice to see that a lot of these apps are adding some of the other social conversation, the social messaging in instead of just Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Right.
And they also there's some neat controls as well, by the way. So if you want to make some adjustments, they have some really neat little on-screen controls, which for a lot of times when you're doing video, it can be complicated. You apply video to everything. This time you can actually use your hands and use the functionality of the device to do some cool stuff.
Okay.
That's a free app. What else do we have?
You've got the next up. You've got LifeStage by Facebook, which is hilarious in my in my humble opinion, because LifeStage is the Facebook social network for high schoolers or under 18. It sounds like. So it's kind of like the original Facebook, how it was meant to be a college yearbook type of thing, only this time for a younger group, where you have to be underage, I think, to be a part of this.
What do you think about this? Do you like the idea that they did this, or what's?
You know, if I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I'm not sure I'd be thrilled with that. Although the kids usually have apps that parents don't even know about, or at least it seems to be the case. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I think about this, and since I'm too old to use it, I don't know that I'll have any real experience with it. I think this is like Snapchat. Again, they're trying to imitate Snapchat in certain ways. Snapchat was originally big with the younger crowd, and I think they're just trying to they know that the younger generation has left Facebook for Snapchat and Instagram and probably is leaving it for other purposes, because when us old folks show up on these apps, the younger kids don't want to be there anymore. So this is their way to try and keep them there and build a longer term brand loyalty, probably.
I do find it interesting too, by the way, just a couple of like things that Facebook's been doing. So they did a redesign of Facebook pages recently, and it went back to a very similar look to what it was a number of years ago. And then, like you said, you gave a great analogy here, like with LifeStage. It is very similar to how Facebook started. So it's almost like they're like they're going back to like their history,
right,
and creating like an app that does make sense. But it's obviously very limited in functionality. I think we're way beyond that these days.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming the point is to bring younger groups back in and hopefully keep them for longer life stages in their life. So,
and one other thing,
probably.
Well, so one other thing I also saw about this app, and I'm going to compare this to like, Facebook at work. So LifeStage, one of the lines in the description is LifeStage makes it easy and fun to share a visual profile of who you are with your school network. So this also makes me wonder, would Facebook maybe be coming out with something that is Facebook for schools or Facebook at school? That might be, they got the whole Facebook at work thing. Would they come out with maybe Facebook at school, which is essentially, taking Facebook at work and making it for a school network?
Could be.
I just wonder.
Could be. I mean, Messenger being as big as it is, and WhatsApp being as big as it is in other countries, maybe they're trying to get some schools to use this from an earlier stage, so that teachers and students can communicate more effectively. Maybe they get some district contracts that way or something. I don't know. Maybe there's a deeper plan here that I'm not privy to.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. But with that, the last tool that I have is a tool called Napkin Sketch.
Okay.
Now, this I think is a very useful business tool. Like, granted, okay, so Spark Pro, great for like doing video editing. LifeStage, not so much, but at least something about. So if you're working with clients, or you've got, a friend of yours, for instance, and they're asking you about this, you at least can become, a little bit more proficient on it, to really kind of help them, and kind of guide them. So let's look at Napkin Sketch. So Napkin Sketch is a very neat app. It's a free app, and it is an app for doing mock-ups. It's just like what it sounds like. So for example, people create, they create business, they might create a business plan, or, maybe their first like real hit product on the back of a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
This app lets you basically mimic very similar functionality. You can basically create art boards. And the way that it works is I can like mock up pretty much anything I want. And they do, rectangles, squares, photos, labels, paragraphs, icons. So I could see this being useful. For instance, like I'm working on a project for another website, and I need to do a mock-up of that website. I could easily throw that together right here to
Okay.
give me a rough idea of what kinds of things I'd want, in certain places, what kind of text and so forth. But I can also do it.
Interesting.
And, and just in this, like, I mean, you could do the same thing with like, maybe you're looking to put together like a flyer or like some piece of, some asset for like your audience. This is a great handy app to just launch, everything, you don't have to worry about, well, hey, how do I draw a circle? You literally just drop in a circle and you can resize it, and get everything laid out just how you want it to. So
cool.
So that's Napkin Sketch. Another, like I said, free app. Very good for like just drawing out a lot of different, things that you think are like useful in your business. So you can record some of those ideas.
Excellent.
But with that, I don't have anything else on this week's show. I think we covered a lot of the real main ones.
Yeah, the only other app that I had was another live video app, or I guess there were two of them, but a Lively was by a Facebook Live person. The former Facebook Live product manager created a live video app that is, the default is set to private, which I'm not sure that because not everybody wants to have their videos public. So in case you want to go private, so that's a Lively. Let me see if I can find a link to it.
And here's the thing, maybe we'll share that one next week, because like that way we've had.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you've had a chance to play with it yet. I mean,
I have not.
I like the fact that it is. I think it's really. I was looking at the picture of it. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, we can share that next week, and I've got one more that's for next week.
Yeah, just ping me that one when you get a chance, and we'll
Perfect.
We'll get them. Heck, we might even have a show just about live streaming. I mean, who knows?
It seems to be the place to be these days.
By the way, I did want to just quickly mention as we quickly wrap up, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be on Media Chat talking about Facebook Live video with my buddy Aaron Kilby. So if you haven't participated in that, basically it's a tweet chat, and I've got a bunch of really good questions to help you as a business owner get on Facebook Live. Nick, what do you got? Anything new coming up? Anything you're working on? You want to share?
No, I've got my next show for the Legal Tech Show will be Saturday, September 3rd on huzza.io / Nick J. Rishwain. And that's the only kind of live video that I'm working on right now. Is everything else pretty standard. Oh, I just started a legal tech Facebook group for legal tech community. So that's the industry that I'm in, is legal technology. So that's all I got that's going on right now. Nothing particularly new, but that wraps us up. Your 50th episode, and
Absolutely.
we did it in 40 minutes this time.
I know, that's pretty crazy. Even less than that, probably, because we had a couple of glitches.
That's right, hiccups. Yeah.
So I want to say, awesome. I mean, I'm happy that we make it to 50 episodes. I love doing these, and I love having you on as a co-host.
Thank you.
So
thanks for inviting me.
If just a quick note for everybody, we have next week's show already lined up. If you want to like get a ticket, because you do have to have tickets for that using this service, you can go here and get your ticket. It's free. And then also, if you want to get on the email list, so we'll notify you when there's new. When the new episode, we'll notify you before the show, and we'll also give you a link to last week's show, like the video recap. You can text social chat at 33444, and that'll get you on the list for us to notify you. With that, Nick, thank you so much, and
my pleasure.
It's been great having you on here. So I want to
have a good luck with your busy day today.
Yeah, yes, today is crazy. So I want to say thanks a lot, and I'll see everybody later.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.